What is sacred feminine touch? And what is the ceremony of sacred feminine touch? First, I owe these words and this language to Suha.world, to two amazing teachers, Surya and Reena, who have mentored many women now in the ceremony of sacred feminine touch. And I am one of them. So first, why? Just why? And the simple reason or answer is why not any type of touch? So we know that the skin and the fascia and the muscles, even down to the function of the joints, respond to touch, respond to human touch. And massage is a whole entire field of science, art, medicine that cultivates flow and function in the body. And so sacred feminine touch is not necessarily massage, but it involves elements from the world of massage. And so why would someone engage in a sacred feminine touch ceremony? Simply, it's to optimize flow and function in the subtle layers of their body. Okay, so let's break down this sacred feminine touch ceremony, right? So there are 4 key words. And first, we'll go to the ceremony part, the last word. How does it happen? What is this ceremony? Well, it's just like any other medicine ceremony, really. Medicine ceremony that's done well and facilitated and held professionally. So you begin with a connection call, and if you'll be working with me, it would be with me or whatever practitioner. And after that connection call, you decide, how does it feel to have this person engaged in touch? Is there an energetic flow? Is there an innate intuitive yes? And then you'll fill out an intake form so that the practitioner can begin to get a holistic understanding of your body, mind, heart, and spirit. And then you come in and you arrive, and there's a check-in, and there is a very slow process and progress into the touch and into the phases of touch and the types of touch. That involves setting intention, that involves consecration or prayer, meditation, a little bit of coaching through breath. And then ultimately, there is a series of touch from head to toe. And we're going to get into the specific areas of touch in the next question, because touch is one of the key words in sacred feminine touch ceremony. And then after the touch, after all of the touch is complete, there is a moment for relaxation, like a real moment, not just like if you're at a regular massage, it's kind of like, okay, you've got like 3 minutes and you got to get dressed. There is a 15 to 20 minute relaxation pause to fully allow all of the energy circulations to be felt and to come in and settle in the space of your body before you're asked to sit back up again, eyes closed, and begin the integration process. And then you don't dialogue much after. There's quite a bit of a pause after you leave the ceremony, and then sometime later you'll have an integration or debriefing call with that practitioner. Or at least that's how I will be doing it, and that is how we were taught. So from call to call, from connection to debrief, this is how it happens. Okay, so there's the ceremony part. Now, the touch part. What are the specific areas that are touched? Well, honestly, it's head to toe. There is no part of your body that will go untouched except for maybe the inside of your nose, your mouth, your eyes, and your ears. But the idea is that every important part of the body is given some touch, especially special points through the body that contain entry into the release of energy that otherwise would not be released because it's not being specifically targeted or focused on. So all over body touch, there are specific pressure points and specific areas of release. And then also, moving a little bit into the feminine aspect, the yoni is a part of the sacred feminine touch ceremony. And this is the entry to the temple. This is the cauldron of the medicine in the ceremony. And so there's external work and there is internal work. And so all of the areas of the yoni are touched, and they're touched with care, they're touched with consent, with permission, and they're touched with notice. They're touched with connection to consciousness and subconsciousness. As your body goes into a theta state of relaxation, you'll be able to access a space inside your body that isn't otherwise necessarily accessible per se if you were in a heightened state of sexual arousal. The touch is held up as in it's ceremonial, it's sacred, it is offered up to the divine or to something beyond self, whatever that means for each person receiving. And the touch is also held as it's professionally facilitated by a trained practitioner. And so there is a dynamic and a co-collaboration that is not for the benefit and pleasure of the practitioner, as in a woman making love with another person. With the practitioner, there is a state of arousal that is not going both ways. It's a state of arousal that is solely for you and is solely tapping into your subtle body. And so it may be surprises of what comes up, because not many people have had the opportunity to tap into their arousal states without the pressure of peak, without the pressure of orgasm, without the pressure of performance, or without the pressure for maintaining sexual connection during intimacy. And so the body, the feminine body, this touch, all of these areas culminate and come together to express some of the most beautiful medicine that the body has to offer. And yes, there are erogenous zones, and yes, those erogenous zones speak to this realm, this experience, this life journey beyond that of just serving sexual function. So I'll leave the touch at that. So we've covered ceremony. How does it happen from call to call? We covered touch, all of the areas that are engaged, and a little bit of like why they're engaged. Where are you touched and why? For what purpose? And then we want to get to what is sacred feminine. So sacred feminine reminds me that the body is the temple, the body is medicine, and the body is holy. If it's a temple, it's holy and it's whole, as in perfect and complete, has everything it needs all here right within. And so the feminine anatomy and the biochemical physiology of the feminine is so different from the masculine. I mean, as many people know, our culture, traditions, our social norms are shaped primarily from the last 200 years of a domination style, patriarchy, and late-stage capitalism. And so what this boils down to for the body's pleasure system and for the social kind of dynamics around the body's engagement of pleasure is there's a hard focus on peak explosive orgasm. And some, like, that is a part of our anatomy. The penis and the clitoris are exactly wired for this type of a peak achieved, you know, these things of capitalism and domination, being on top of the mountain, right? Success. We are built for that. And also, especially from the feminine body, we're given ample evidence for an entirely different path and experience of pleasure. Going into the mountain and exploring the caverns of the mountain, for example, versus climbing to the top and reaching the peak. So that's the sacred feminine to me. Is the sacred feminine speaks volumes into how all bodies can have a different relationship to pleasure that may open up other channels in the mind, in the body, in the heart. It is the sacred feminine has these wisdom points and drops clues and cues to how we can navigate more wholly our beingness in this realm. And so there is sacred feminine touch ceremony. That's what it is. I can go a little bit into my experience in training, being worked on and being given the ceremony and receiving the ceremony and giving the ceremony. That the co-collaboration is so beautiful, for two women to be in a space of absolute allowance to engage the feminine body in its deepest, fullest, most powerful wisdom, and expressed through sexual arousal that's completely grounded and linked into the body's whole system, versus just a singular stream system that I've experienced and that most experience in making love, in the dynamic of a man-woman or woman-woman, kind of like we're going somewhere, we're on this adventure together. No, you're just in this adventure inside yourself, and you're held with full permission to go so deep inside of yourself. And usually, we do this work and it's like we go so deep into the pain and we want to unlock these layers of ourself, of our shadow. Well, you can also do this work by going into the deep layers of pleasure and pathways of pleasure all throughout your body as well, and discover likewise amazing and helpful avenues. So that's a little bit about my experience. That's my breakdown of Sacred Feminine Touch Ceremony, of which I owe Suha.world, which is Surya and Rena. Again, these beautiful, amazing, and wonderful blessed creatures and teachers of this modality. We are grateful. And with that, if this is interesting to you, let's have a call. And the call does not make you committed to following through with the whole ceremony. The call is just one step, one opportunity for you to feel into your intuition and find your yes or your no. And if you're a yes, we'll go on until you are a no, and we'll pause, which is one of the key principles in ceremony. Thank you, and may your body be so blessed and rich and full of life today. Bye.